Hey, you chickadees. I'm Lay Rooster, and you're in the hen house. That's right, we're looking at STFC's update arc number 89. Now, I've been back and doing many of streams related to STFC and playing it again for many months. Check me out on Twitch. We're usually giving a lot of the information there, but it's been a long time since we did an update arc video, but that was kind of the mainstay of the YouTube channel. We now do a lot of live streaming over there. But anyway, come check us out on Twitch and on YouTube, as well as, you know, the TikToks and the Kicks and things like that. So anyway, come check us out, talk to us about it. But let's look at this arc and break it down and give you some thoughts. We're getting some of the feedback just from the day, like from my alliance and stuff like that. So let's see. Plus, I look for your information down below. Remember to like, follow, and subscribe. All right, let's look at update arc 89, First Contact, part 2. All right, so again, a lot of it has to do with the Borg sphere. That's the big one. So we're talking about the Enterprise E, folks. We're not going to read through all this stuff because you can read it, but we are going to highlight pieces that make sense or have some bearing. So let's look here. Obviously, you can watch the video about it. We will talk more. So again, they're just talking about they got the new ship. The Borg sphere is the big thing here with this event. We've got the new Borg hostiles, so the Borg sphere has something to hunt. It's basically a specialty ship with a new loop, all right? It's going to tie into the Maverick faction that already exists from the previous arc and give us more things, and it's a ship that you need to buy or later earn. You can get it free, you know, in the normal, 200-day-ish process. We'll talk about that. Again, they've got refits for it. There's more tasks, a lot more tasks in the Maverick stuff once you get the sphere. There's prototype, forbidden tech, and chaos tech. There's one new officer to come in, some new artifacts that'll help, some new missions, like I said, battle pass, the mid-level battle pass as well, which is a nice new addition since we were last making these videos. So anyway, let's look at that. It started off with information about quality of life improvements. You may have noticed this. I know I did this morning. 170 missions across the G3 and G4 range have been updated. All right, so they were basically reducing the things, and so the way I found out is I had a bunch of missions showing a green check mark that they were completed. You should have that. Check on those. It sounds like what they're doing, they're saying they're going to, one, they make it so that they don't affect faction, whether that's a big deal anymore now that with DTI and stuff like that, it doesn't matter as much. But still, you know, they're going to continue to expand this into the G5 and G6 missions as well, it says. So that's where things might make more of a difference. So that's one thing in there. We have the new research search tab. So again, if you go into research, you'll be able to put in the name. You know, shout out to Rev Deuce, our buddy, fellow content creator, as well. I know he was kind of complaining about it. I mean, yeah, it's good that we have a search. This one does require that you put in the name. So even just looking at it, just like, you know, the Klingon HOS space SOM stuff, you know, you're going to have to spell things right, and you're going to have to know what you're looking for. So it doesn't help if you're saying, let me find an efficiency research. That's not something you can, you know, that'd be more of, I guess, a filter, but they don't have those yet. So shout out to Scopely. Maybe consider that too. But this is good because when somebody tells you go do this one and you can't find it, I know I've scrolled a long time. So this will be helpful if you can spell it. Okay, so we got the missions. This is for Ops 55 and above. So this is not for the lower levels, but we do have the lower level battle pass coming in. So just the main missions, just remember when you're wondering what they are, it's Contact Restored, it is Ripples, and the Borg Sphere one will be Sphere of Influence. All right, those are the three that you'll want to be looking out for. Okay, so we'll explore those on streams and stuff. Then, of course, we're going to talk about the Borg sphere. This is really the meat and the potatoes, and it's been assimilated into meat mush. All right, this is the thing. All right, so again, they were talking about this. So this is a specialty ship. Again, and we have a new loop. We have 2 new Borg hostiles that you grind with the Borg sphere. You must have the ship to do this, with some exceptions for higher levels, super-powered punching down. But you must have the ship, at least right now, in order to do this and to open up all the tasks. There is a free-to-pay, everything's free-to-pay in the Scopely world, but there's a free-to-play path to get this like usual through the Maverick store. Unfortunately, the way the Maverick store is structured, you're going to have to kill your solo Borg armadas and do that, and you're having to debate between, do I spend it on the ship, do I spend it on the research, or on the dive bar? You're not going to have enough. Unless you spend some money and do the things, you'll get more stuff there. Anyway. That's not unexpected. All right, so it is a G5 battleship built to take on the deadly new Borg suppressors and obliterators. Earn more of those epic, or on the epic Maverick credits to spend in the faction store on the new rewards. All right, and it's going to have some prototype tech, that's coming out, which will further enhance its performance against the Borg hostiles. It almost seems like that's only for the sphere, because if you put it on other ships, that might make you not need it. So I have a feeling there's some limitations there. And the Borg sphere is basically going to accelerate the Maverick loop. It makes it faster. You're going to get more things. You're going to get more rewards, etc., and more tasks. So more grind, but more rewards. It will include the Borg ship parts. So you'll get that once you have the ship. There's the epic artifacts. They are noting a choice, quote, a choice of G5 through G7 ship parts. So we'll have to see exactly how good or bad the choice is, how targeted it is, and how helpful. Let me know below what you're already seeing. There's a couple of refits that come in at Tier 4 and Tier 5 that affect the abilities of the Borg Sphere in a positive way. And yeah, there's solo and alliance tasks added to that, to the faction tasks. Maverick periphery intel for the prime nodes in the Maverick research tree, and an additional Maverick intel, basically exotic spirits for the dive bar, and some missions tied to it. I mean, yeah. Prototype tech and KS tech for advanced upgrades for the Borg sphere. So they're saying it's for the sphere, so it's probably limited to that. Now, when they kind of talk about the tasks, there's a lot of stuff in here, so I'm trying to give you a summary thing. If there's anything particularly important that you want to dive into more, drop below in the comments, and we'll follow up on streams and everything. There's more tasks with more credits and renown in here. And so they're saying one is a Conqueror Board hostile hunt solo, which requires higher tier Borg spheres. The way they have stacked this is kind of neat. Again, they'll have like a 57, hit 57s, but also hit 59, so 2 tasks. But if you hit a 59, it counts as hitting a 59 and a 57. So you can hit the highest you can, and it trickles down. That's positive. That is efficient. So that's good. And then they're talking about the new hostiles that are here. So, as the video said from Scopely, the sphere is required to kill them, or else the other ships will blow it up, will be blown up automatically. Sounds like that's not 100% true, but that'll be as people punch down. So we'll see. Plus, who knows what they're going to do if that becomes a problem in the wallet there. All right, so the Maverick research, they said the deeds of the Mavericks and the glory of the Mavericks will continue to help increasing renown and reduce milestone points in these areas. So that'll apply. That's good. That's consistent. The abilities of the sphere, again, it's all about the sphere. Again, is just increases the damage against the Conqueror Board suppressors and obliterators. Increases the Apex Barrier. Apex Barrier is big here. Quantum Nullification Pulse disables their suppressors. Quantum Beam. This is the beam and the Hypothermic Resonance Beam that makes you go boom. So this is what makes it the safe ship to grind there. So do everything else at your own risk. All right. They're going to have the refits, which will include a transwarp drive. So this sphere can jump like the other Borglet. And it will give you more, a new daily chest of those will come out as well. So that's good. And the assimilation protocol, Tier 5, is said, now this one's a little interesting because applies the assimilate state to enemy players at the start of combat for 2 rounds. Okay, well, I know that's like Dazak against players, but that's a PvP ability. Now this is a PvE loop. So we'll have to see what the sphere is useful for in the PvP area, because it's not being marketed as that, but this is a PvP skill. So more to come on that, and more to figure out what in the world is happening. Anyway, the hostiles are here, the Conqueror Borg Suppressor and the Conqueror Borg Obliterator. Basically, don't fight them without the sphere, so until you buy that or earn it through the slow drip, you're going to get that. Again, they hit you with Apex. They have Apex Barrier, and then Critical and Apex Barrier, Critical and Critical Chance. And it says Quantum Resonance Beam instantly destroys any non-Borg sphere ship. You don't have the money to spend on testing this? Don't. All right. But talk to your alliance. All right. The same thing or similar things with the Obliterator. Has, again, barrier, critical, crit damage, crit chance. and its hypothermic resonance beam will destroy a ship that isn't the sphere, and has a chance to instantly annihilate the Borg sphere. So these will give you epic Maverick credits, which can be used in the faction store. So that is part of the loop. We'll look at that more. Maybe somebody wants to help me get this ship. We'll see. They did note, important note about crewing, and I call this the free gala moment anyway, because I'm not in favor of this stuff. They said, oh, we've identified 3 captains that are problematic to our loop, so we've said they are eliminated. So that's Catherine Janeway, Enterprise E. Picard, and Christopher Pike. It's not S&W Pike, who is in the YouTube video. They've already had a thing on that. So I'm not in favor of this, just like I haven't been for the V'gers as well. I think it's another free gala moment personally. However, I will note that Christopher Pike has normal Picard, original Picard, who's pretty much his twin. So he's not excluded. So maybe he's useful. We'll have to test that out. Anyway, new prototype Forbidden Tech and Chaos Tech. It says it's designed to augment the Borg sphere's performance. All right, against those things. And counter that. So we got the Borg operating table. Julio, I just watched this movie again recently, in the last week and a half. So I recognize that again. So we'll look at that. It says it becomes especially valuable against G6 and above of the special hostiles. And again, the interplexing beacon. Remember that floating away in the movie? That's Chaos Tech. It counters the hypothermic stabilizer, which is the one that makes everybody try to go boom. Anyway, and upgrade materials. They come through the Maverick faction store. So again, there's the whole block. We got one new officer right now, Mara Dalin, who's already in the faction store thing, although they put a silly hat on her, or a helmet or something, and I don't think it looks good. Looks better without the hat. Get that back. Take hats off, Stokely, hats off. All right, so her officer ability, increasing isolytic damage against group armadas, quite a bit, and below deck will repair shield damage taken in the previous round. So sounds decent, useful, especially for some of these armadas that we'll be doing. Okay, and we'll look at that synergy as well that comes in. Then the epic artifacts. Now, these are available through the Maverick faction store after the Borg sphere is unlocked. That's important. Once you have the sphere, you'll be able to get these. Here's the exosuit helmet from the movie. Increased isolytic defense, 500%. So ISO defense becoming more and more important for these parts of the loop because they're already in play quite a bit. So this will help. And the interplexion transducer is cost efficiency on the schematics for research nodes. Okay, so that's different. Then Cochrane's telescope, which will increase apex barrier again against hostiles for G7 ships. So it's going to help you at the high end. There we go. The battle pass and event updates, are just talking about that. Again, that's going to have, we're going to get all the stuff we need from the battle pass if we're in the regular one, Ops 55 and above. They did note that the Ops 51 through 54 players will receive some other things as they work on it. So that's targeted. They're going to do some Zephyr and Cochrane stuff that's starting out right now for working on the Borg sphere. Again, if you're going to, you're going to miss out if you don't spend out. But you can get it later for free, for slow, for grind. They did note some changes to the USS Vengeant and the Aphelion events, so that's here, that's noted here. I don't have that yet, but that is an event of adjustment based on likely what they're changing elsewhere. They are going to do mid-ops events for 20 to 50, and these are a good thing. So again, it's just Ops 20 to 29 gets the Discovery, 30 to 39 is getting Voyager stuff, and 40 to 50 is a Relativity, which does really help people move up. And they want you to move up. Get to that 55, don't you know? All right, so then they've got stuff on the community corner. We're not going to go into a lot of this. There is the new active duty recall program. I just started changing and sharing this out on my Discord. They want to bring back former players who've been gone for over 30 days who want to play on mobile. They really do want to get their people back. We've heard for some time about how many people have left the game. So we're going to look at that. You can help me test it out. I've already done one test to see what it looks like for somebody who grudgingly logged back in. So anyway, come check that out or ask me for my link. All right. And then they're doing a bunch of bug fixes, and that covers, I think, most of it at that point. So then we get up there. And so, right, so that gets us, so it's update 89, Borg Sphere, Maverick faction, Loop's specialty ship. What do you need to know? Just remember that. Can't hit the hostiles generally without the ship. Can't do a lot of the things until you have the ship. So let me know what you're thinking about it. Let me know how excited or not excited you are. Put comments down below. Remember to like, follow, and subscribe. Come check us out on Twitch. We're always there, even if we're not live streaming on YouTube. Anyway, y'all take care, and cock-a-doodle-doo.